What's going on, world? It's your boy at Big Game James _36. I kind of solved the SoundCloud problem. I wasn't able to put last week's show because it's been a week since I did the show Wednesday from Orlando. So we found out that I may be doing some things remote for the coming into 2023 because I'll be traveling a lot. But yeah, I solved the problem by just upping how many hours. Eventually, we got to go in there, Miles, and delete like all the old shows.
You want them going?
Well, we could delete the them holding it in the cloud. We don't have to delete the stream. It's like a different thing you could do, but it just takes a lot of time. But I just went ahead and so now we have 400 hours of content that it can hold, which we probably will need moving forward, especially if I continue to use StreamYard as the app. As you know, we will probably month of February we'll be doing Big Games BS 4 days a week, and we'll be doing Big Games BS 4 days a week. We'll probably be bringing Sports Den back. I'm going to talk with another former player. So it'll be really all bravado, all former player perspective. So it should be really, really cool if we get that going, and then tons of original content with 6 points and with what Denny's doing and with a bunch of other stuff. So cool year coming up. Thought I was going to be able to have an announcement, but a lot of talk and then no numbers, but we're getting close to it. So if you would, please check out the YouTube, Facebook. I'm really, really getting sick and tired of Facebook. So like we probably are going to just I don't think I'll ever completely end the relationship with Facebook, but it's just not productive. So please go check that out. We need to grow this YouTube channel to I need it to be as much as possible, but I would really like it to be over 2,000 followers by the 2,000 subscribers by the month of by the end of February. That helps us with marketing and things like that. But the biggest thing is to pay bills. This is brought to you by this Big Games BS, brought to you by thehumidor.com. Thehumidor.com is a go-to website for all things tobacco related and cigars related. Type in Sports Den at checkout, you get 20% off. Free shipping. I think it's back to probably over $150. It was $50 for the holiday season, but continental United States. But basically, we're covering that tax and then some. So you're getting some really, really good deals there. You don't have to be in the state of Florida to be able to do that. But if you are in the state of Florida, make sure you go to ABC Fine Wine and Spirits you can purchase your cigars there as well as getting your best brands for liquor. ABC sponsors all of the tailgates that I throw. They sponsor all of these different things, and basically my house is a walking American NIL deal. Alcohol, tobacco, and firearms is what pays the bills in my home. Inside the world's greatest cigar lounge, Goodfellas Cigar Lounge. Check it out. We'll have a Jaguars watch party. Jaguars play the Tennessee Titans for the opportunity to host the home playoff game. So this will win the division. If the Jaguars win, the division is solely theirs. This game means a lot. It's going to be at home Saturday, 8:15. We will be here watching the game. Come to Goodfellas. We'll have drink specials. If you wear Jaguar gear, you'll get a percentage off of your order. Tell them Big Game sent you. So, yeah, that's basically housekeeping. I don't know how you guys' year ended, but mine was pretty good. And what I've learned though is I learned this from my old producer JJ. JJ has this thing where he doesn't make New Year's resolutions. The only thing he says is my New Year's resolution is to make it to next year. So I did that in 2021. I had big plans, and I almost died. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna go JJ's route for 2022. And man, 2022 was a really, really good year. I just said my New Year's resolution is to make it to this year. So my New Year's resolution for 23 is to make it to 24. I have some goals, but the only thing I really, really care to do is make it to next year. So, but again, the goals would be to get 10,000 on my personal Twitter, 5,000 on the Den Media Group Twitter, all of those different things. So you see those things, make sure you check us out. Please go like the different social media stuff. That's how we get our money. That's how we get paid. But end of the year, Florida State ended with a win. I haven't done any post game stuff. Obviously, you watched the Oklahoma game. It was a very, very good game. Caleb, not Caleb Williams. Dylan Gabriel is extremely talented quarterback. At Oklahoma, played very, very well. Oklahoma's running back played well. Their offensive line played. It was a very back and forth game. Florida State did come out flat, but at the end we emerged victorious. 10-win season, very difficult. Only been done, I believe, 26 times in Florida State history. If it was easy, we would have a lot more than 26, but it's something that hasn't been done. The goal is to be playing at a championship level. Florida State had an opportunity, had they won one of the games, to be able to be in the ACC championship, and possibly had they played Clemson in that. Well, they wouldn't have played Clemson. Had they played at North Carolina and beat them in the ACC championship, Florida State probably could have been able to finagle their way into a college football playoff if the ball bounced a couple of different ways, or if injuries didn't happen. No use in crying over spoiled milk, but you had that. You had some other wacky things happen. My New Year's Eve, I got a chance to go hang out with Benji Brown. He does a New Year's Eve comedy special in Orlando. A lot of wild stuff happened. But we'll get into those things a little bit later. But let's talk about the tailgate. The tailgate went without a hitch almost. But this is actually, put this up here first. Yeah, that one first. So, but this is what made me realize this. And I realized this with the LSU tailgate. You cannot please everybody. People are going to find reasons to dislike you for no reason. You can provide the best service in the world. And it was not the cleanest tailgate, but a lot of the mistakes that happened, you would not have known. I know that they happened because I know how it was supposed to look. I have yet to run a tailgate to 85% of what's supposed to go down. People didn't show up. Stuff happens. Not crying. I am about business and getting things done. But what I learned is this, and I remembered this from school, and this guy, I want to give him credit. You got to remember, in school, they had kids separated. We had honors classes, regular classes, and slow classes. Basically, the people who never changed classes. They stayed in the same classroom all day. See, the problem with Twitter is that, in social media in general, is they got us all on here together, and we're supposed to be separate. I'm going to stress today, throughout the course of the show, 54% of Americans read at a 6th grade level or below. 54%. That is statistic. Yeah, and to be honest with you, most Americans don't read above a 9th grade level. And what happens is people don't understand that, not just reading comprehension. They don't understand nuance. They don't understand context. And they also come at people out of left field. So we had our tailgate, and of course somebody got upset. But the craziest thing is, this was the best one I've ever thrown. We had over 400 people at the tailgate. Do we have any videos of the tailgate that I sent any of those links? I know we might have them on the computer. But the tailgate was lit. I ain't even gonna lie, man. Both DJs, DJ Soldier and DJ Ayo, were getting after it. We had tons of beautiful women, tons of food, tons of liquor. There is one thing I didn't have, and I will never underestimate this again. I apologize, white people. I thought I was a white ally, Miles. Nobody ever talks to white people like this, though. Most of the time, it's it's the other way around. You can go up. It's one of the pin tweets. You can use one of those. Not like the one with Church and Norton. Let's just scroll down, right there to the left. Yeah. So I study white people. I hang around with a lot of white people. I have a ton of friends. I have a friend who's white. Isn't that what they say too? But I had no idea. I know Danielle Kelly drinks Michelob Ultra like it's nobody's business. I had no idea that this was the white people's manna, white people's libations. Like, this is the water of eternal life to white people. Bro, I went with, and Chris Frazier with Spiragus could be my witness. I went to ABC. We spent a ton of money. I thought I bought enough beer. Matter of fact, I was learning about beers. I didn't know what an IPA was until last week. Somebody said they wanted IPAs. I said, you know what? I'll go get you some OPP. And they were like, no, this is not, it's not, we're not other people's property. Not talking about that. We're talking about beer. So I went in there. I asked them, hey, man, give me the best IPA y'all got. We got 100 IPAs. We got a whole bunch of Bud Light. Somebody requested Bud Light. Somebody requested Miller Lite. Then they requested Mick Ultra. I'm like, all right, man, cool, bet. I bought it. We ran out. And it was almost a ride on our hands. So I went. I said, you know what, man, give me those keys. I drove through the traffic, weathered the pain, went back through and bought more Mick Ultra. I bought double the amount of Mick Ultras that I had before. I bought ice. I bought 30 bags of ice. I put the ice down. I opened all the Mick Ultras. We were going through there. I had a smile on my face. I saved the tailgate. I promise you, I took 3 steps after I turned around and I emptied all those Mick Ultras in the cooler. And they were like, we're out of Mick Ultras again. I said, damn it, white people. You're just gonna be out of damn Mick Ultras today. But I promise you, that would be the only complaint, is that we ran out of beer. We had plenty of liquor though. But I learned white people like beer, black people like liquor. We had a guy, I'm not gonna say his name because he has a good job. I want my guy to keep working. He didn't make it to the game. He got an opportunity to experience how clean our porta potties were.
Oh man, I'm so sad, you guys.
And yeah, like you're not gonna see it on my page, but and I think the picture's basically gone down off of the internet. But my man was hurt. He actually he enjoyed. He didn't make it to halftime of the tailgate, but there's always one. There's always one. Like one guy got to be that guy. And I'm sure he's a pleasure to be around at parties. I'm sure his family loves him and all this other jazz, but I don't. I like Duffy's. I like Duffy, who plays for Florida State. But I ain't going to lie. Jason Duffy, fuck you. I hope you die.
Yeah.
This man types this. And this is the problem. There's one word that I have an issue with. You can dislike the tailgate. I get it. It was a lot of seasoned food there. And some of you guys can't take seasonings. But God damn it, why you got to call it a scam, man? Like, scam just has all kinds of like connotations. But he's like, this tailgate was a total scam. How can I get my money back? Informed that it was all you can eat, drink, games, TVs, etc. All of this was false. Terrible atmosphere for my family. I will fight this charge. No, you won't. No, you won't. I actually felt bad because, like, I just said, fuck it, bro. Like, what are you even talking about? Like, it was all you could eat. We gave food to a homeless guy. All you could drink, plenty of liquor. We ran out of beer, but you didn't, cry about that. I never said it was going to be games, but we even had, what's that white people thing? Cornhole. I don't play fucking games. I quit school because of recess. I never said that shit. Fuck your kids. I did say it was kid friendly, and it is kid friendly. We had plenty of people with their jits around. Now, I will say this: what we will have for the next tailgate, we will have beer. We will have a JIT VIP tent. Because one thing I am disappointed with you damn adults is how much you chase your liquor. You wasted so much of the chaser is for the jits too. They can't drink. They got to have juices and sodas and shit. But we will have a VIP kids tent. The only people that will have access to that are the kids and me, because I like Capri Suns. So, like, you're not going to fucking drink up all of our Capri Suns. And we probably will have a video game trailer out there as well for them on Labor Day. But, like, nah, man, like, this dude, just say you broke. Just say you went over budget. You spent 7 tickets. He bought them at $60 a piece. So, I mean, that is quite a ticket. That's like just under $400, I think, if I'm doing the math right. I refunded it back, but I'm going to be honest with you. If that's your reason for not liking the tailgate, you're gonna have a hard time getting a charge back, because there's plenty of people people saw that and said, "What?" Like my guy from Peachy Bros Barbecue was out that bitch cooking more. And then Cheese was out that bitch, man. We had crab legs, bro. What tailgate do you know has a seafood broil for $60? That's what ended up coming in. But right now, if you will do this, if you go on my social media, I believe it's on there somewhere. It's out there floating. The link is floating around. Even if you didn't come to the tailgate, you got to the end of January to get the tailgate for $40. Then the price is going back up. But if you commit now, we got it for $40. We're trying to have that be the biggest tailgate ever. We want over 1,000 people at the tailgate. But Jason Duffy, from the bottom of my heart, I hope you get syphilis, and I hope your intestines rot. And yeah, just. And I hope you do like when this last dude, Chaos Theory, did at the LSU. Inbox me all you want, but you a bitch. I'm just telling you that. Like, fuck you. If you don't like me, swing on me when you see me. But outside of that, fuck you. I hope you never come. I hope all your FSU gear shrinks, and I hope your children go to the University of Florida. That's how I feel about you, and your wife leaves you. That's how I feel about you right now, for the email. I'll take critiques, though. Nothing wrong with critiques. Legitimate critiques help me get better. I like criticism. What I don't like is being called a scam. So other than that, like I said, fuck him. Oh no. Hey, dude. Anyways, my bad. We got I9 football. So we got going on to transfer portal news. Before we go to that, congratulations to Jamie Robinson for leaving, declaring to the NFL draft. Jamie Robinson did a really, really good job at Florida State, number 10. Appreciate everything that he did to Florida State. He was a transfer from the University of South Carolina. One transfer that does really, really hurt. I'm upset about it, but I like Trayshawn Ward. But I love more about Mike Norvell's approach to a lot of the kids that transfer. It's like Mike Norvell I would like to thank basically Trayshawn Ward for the incredible impact he has made here at FSU and the Knoll family. From walk-on to a star, I'm grateful for every moment. Has a wonderful future in front of him, and I know he will continue to work to keep climbing. Trayshawn just got in a situation where he got hurt. Incredibly gifted running back. I remember first hearing about him from his high school coach, Jason Roberts, at Tampa Bay Tech. I've interviewed him before. His mom is a phenomenal woman. Very, very good family. Mom made sure that her baby boy stayed on top of his grades. I love young men who honor their parents and do everything right. This is the unfortunate part about the transfer portal. It's not about quitting. It's about business. You can't be able to – the goal of going to Florida States of the world, of Power 5 school, is to get to the NFL. If it were about just academics and the love of the university, Harvard, Yale, Princeton would all still be the greatest football powerhouses. The goal is to get to the NFL, and he's doing what he feels is best for him, and I cannot knock it. It's the unfortunate side of it, but it's just business, man. I wish him nothing but success. I hope to be able to interview him and to be able to see him moving forward and things of that nature. Excuse me. Lakeem Dent's coming back. He announced that he signed with Battles In, which means he's coming back. The next person that we're looking for is Jared Verse, which hopefully we'll hear that news relatively soon. And we'll start hearing news of other guys signing in to the signing deals to Battles In or committing to Florida State or whatever. Trying to think of if there's any other FSU centric news before we get into this.
I want to know if any of the tailgate or LSU tailgate or parking lot pass is available already.
We will have the parking will be the exact same price. I already know I'm going to have. I know I'll have at least 30 parking spots at lot 2. The tailgate tickets are available already, but I do know I'll have 30. So the quicker people buy those, the better. We can go ahead and get that situation resolved and done fast. And also more tailgate information too. Let me tell y'all how big this shit is. Like, we got cats like Bass Pro Shops looking at coming to sponsor it. Pick TLH. Yo, dope. Junkman Doug, them motherfuckers is dope. Them boys made a guap at my tailgate, but Junkman Doug is going to be back at the LSU tailgate, and we're going to have about 10 to 15 vendors. So if you're a vendor, and we're going to have a block party. I attended the block party by Battles In. I'm not battling Battles In. I like them cats. There wasn't no smoke with them. There wasn't no smoke with the boosters. I just don't listen to country music like that. And I went over there, and I was like, it was just me. I was what's it called? Ink in a milk bowl, a blot of ink in a bowl of milk. I don't know what they were singing. You couldn't get into the restaurants. The hot dog that I ate was terrible. It was too boiled. Anybody who's grown up poor knows what a Vienna sausage is. Imagine eating a foot long Vienna sausage. You know how they're mushy? That's what it was like. I was expecting a crunch, some texture, but it wasn't. So fuck that. Where the tailgate's gonna be, our goal is to have it may not be there, but we know we're gonna have an MFTK block party. Goodfellas Cigar Lounge will be providing the booze. It will be free, but the vendors aren't. You can show up to it, but the vendors will have food. We'll have food that will be there, like, so plenty of food for you to be able to go get your vendors, and we'll have probably about 3 to 4 liquor stations, so you can go buy your liquor, your beer, and everything that you need to buy. So we will have that going, and then we're gonna have live entertainment, live music. I'm hoping to get this nice group here called That's Pressure. That's why I want them to be on the stage and have some DJs. And again, completely free over by the stadium, off of Church of Naughton. That's everything is happening at Church of Naughton. We might even put some T-shirts for that. I survived Church of Naughton.
When is that again?
Labor Day weekend. So the Saturday before the game is on Sunday. Saturday we'll have a big game block party presented to benefit the MFTK Foundation. We have to say this because that's how we're going to get our 3-day liquor pass. To benefit the MFTK Foundation, and then we're going to also have our tailgate the next day, and I'm anticipating we will eventually have close to 100 parking spots available, but I can't speak. The lady's supposed to be giving me the entire lot. I told her I want to make it as least of a headache for her as possible. Miss Katie was very helpful for me. We're going to also do a Florida Classic party weekend as well. But yeah, Bass Pro Shops, any other businesses that want to participate in that, let me know. One thing that I've been telling you, and we'll get into this before we get into all of the other college football recap, and then what's really pressing in the news today. I have told you guys since the beginning of Name, Image, and Likeness that all of this is full of shit. It's all cap. You guys have been throwing around $2 million numbers, $6 million, $7 million. Never, and I've consistently said, never in American history has a rich white man given poor anybody money without anything in return for them. And that's all NIL is. Nobody likes their college football team that much to where they're just going to give a young man $7 million fucking dollars. In particular, one of the lies that was told by Narduzzi, the Pittsburgh coach, that he said he personally knew of a team offering $5 million to the starting quarterback of North Carolina for him to be able to come and be and play for them and play for them. $5 million would have made that young man a top 20 paid college football coach. It's just the numbers don't make sense. And I think it's because people fear what they don't understand and hate what they can't conquer. You've never been good at anything in your life, so you feel like somebody has to be given something. That there's a reason why you're in the position, and not the fact that these young men have really, really worked their asses off and have deserved every penny that they got. You also don't understand how marketing works. Nobody gives me a penny without expecting clients or customers. That's why people advertise. That's why I tell you, if you want to help me and you don't want to write me a check, go to Green Acres, go to Goodfellas, go buy cigars, go buy these things. If you don't, they're not going to write me a check anymore. Not just because these are also really, really good companies. I really like them. I love Green Acres. Thank you, Green Acres, for my pump shotty and my Canic and my AK. Not my AK, excuse me, my AR. AK, I want that AK next. That's what I'm going for next. Don't know why. I'm with you. I'm with you 2A enthusiasts now. Don't know why I need it. Just want it. Just in case the government comes to take our guns. I want my AK to take care of my family. Like, the thing is, it's personal defense, man. I live in the whitest neighborhood in America. Actually, no, I don't. I don't live in the whitest neighborhood. I live in the whitest Asian neighborhood in America. Like, I'm pulling out AKs for Chinese people. My neighborhood is so foreign that white people deliver Chinese food. That's just all right. But this guy, Chris Hummer, wrote an article. I talked to several 5-star recruits about misconceptions and rumors that often surround the NIL space. Texas A&M signee Ruben Owens laughed at a rumor saying he was getting $2 million, but he did admit 6 figures is very much in the cards. Very much so true. I was like, what? I wish they gave me $2 million. They're just saying some crazy stuff what people are saying. Owens was planning to sign to Louisville, left. Owens decided to open up his recruitment, pick Texas A&M. He's like, A&M, I will probably only make 6 figures. Now, we all know this is the truth. How do you get paid more money? Score touchdowns. Shit. Like, I mean, the crazy thing is that you're not supposed to get paid for play, but nobody knows the third string running back. If you're the first string running back and you're scoring a lot of touchdowns, you're more marketable. That means you're going to get paid more. They just can't pay you per touchdowns and things like that. But Owens and plenty of other people have made statements that is just that. And if you really talk to these kids, you understand it. It's the adults that may be about the money. The kids just want to play ball. Dante Moore, who was committed to Oregon, flipped to UCLA. People think I made my decision off NIL, and I just laugh. It's really not. Caden Proctor opted out of signing to Iowa, signed to Alabama. He had thousands of people coming at him about his decision. He finds it ironic given the Hawkeyes gave him a better NIL package than Alabama, which technically is illegal. Caden, don't say that. They didn't offer you anything. He's just hypothetically. Brandon Ennis says he turned down more lucrative NIL offers to pick Ohio State. Basically, everybody is saying, the kids are saying, adults, you're full of shit and you're believing these fantasy tales. The Bible says out of the mouth of babes, some of the most truth you'll ever hear is from a kid. You want to know if you're fat? Go see a 4-year-old. They will tell you if you're fat. Oh, you're fluffy. Drunks and kids tell the best. Drunks, kids, and old people typically tell the most truth. But the reality of the situation is, again, the money just doesn't make sense. It's not trackable. It's not feasible. And if you really look at some of these contracts, it's literally said in the contract that you can't speak about the numbers with anybody.
Oh, wow.
Majority of them. Unless you have express written approval to allow somebody to overlook the contract. I get a chance to look at a lot of the Florida State ones, and a lot of them won't get in trouble for that because these guys know me. They also know I got a loud mouth. So if you try to fuck with my kids because they told me they try to make sure they weren't getting screwed, you know it's gonna probably end up worse for you. But But yeah, man, it's just the NIL game, and the rumors are. I didn't get glasses. What's it? How much time we got?
We're at 30.
All right, so the NIL rumors and shit is just crazy. Getting into college football recap. The Big Ten is in complete disarray. Michigan got absolutely manhandled by Texas Christian University, who, by the way, got beat by Kansas State, who, by the way, got manhandled by Alabama. So now Alabama fans like, see, this is why we should be in the playoff. No, bitch, you lost twice. Stop trying to rely on your get out of jail free card because I'm Alabama and we should be automatically given. No, go out and win the games on your schedule like everybody else and stop asking for shit. Now, technically, TCU, I don't believe TCU should have been in, but they beat Michigan. And everybody thought Michigan was going – people thought Michigan would have a chance to win the Natty. They were out physical. If that Michigan team had to play Georgia, it would have been worse than what last year's game. I have no idea what the national championship is going to look like on Monday, but I do believe Georgia will win. But that TCU team has some chutzpah. They fight. They are some dogs. And I like the director of player personnel. You know why? He has an MFTK hat. I'm going to tell Aaron Hodges, his ass I better see MFTK at the national championship. That being said, Georgia, the legend of Stetson Bennett Gross, the greatest State Farm insurance agent of all time, potential, is going to have 2 national championships. And the only thing that was robbed of him was his opportunity to win a Heisman, because we've seen Caleb Williams is not it. Caleb Williams has had 2 opportunities in prime time to prove to us that he is any good, but he's not. But if you want to show that, that's next. Show the 5th quarter clip, Miles. This is basically a summation of what happened in the national championship playing game. Never have I ever seen a kick missed so badly. I almost believe that this kid had money on the game. And he put his money on Georgia winning. It was blatant. But that being said, I don't blame him. As I told my running back who fumbled the ball one time on 3rd and short, and all I needed him to do was get 1 yard, I told him, it's not your fault. It's my fault for believing in you. I should have never put you in that situation. And if I would have known better, I would have called a timeout, or I would have put somebody else in. I thought my other guy was suspended. Don't tell me that. Fuck these kids. This is real life. His dad was over there looking at me with a scowl all year, like it was my fault his son wasn't playing, when he clearly saw the other guys were better. And when I put him in, he always fumbled. But again, I knew there was an opportunity for that to happen, and I put him in that situation, so that means I'm at fault for trusting him. It's not that kicker's fault. It is Ohio State's football coach's fault for putting that guy in that situation. Not just then, all the way up until that drive. Stetson Bennett goes down, drives down the field, leaves Ohio State with too much time, about a minute left. All Ohio State had to do, they make this field goal, they're in it. The kicker does his thing. Not a kicker, excuse me. They go down. Damn it. Ohio State's quarterback, can't think of his name right now. He drives down. He's doing some phenomenal things. You're in field goal range. Ask your field goal kicker, Ryan, they got to ask your field goal kicker, hey, where do you feel the most comfortable kicking this ball? Left hash, right hash? Apparently the right hash. CJ Stroud, yeah. Apparently the right hash is where he would have been the most comfortable, because that bitch went far left. Right down the middle, whatever. Give him as least amount of pressure as possible. What do? You throw like 3 passes. And then you line it up, and it should be a chip shot, and it's not. It was just bad play calls, bad game management all over by Ryan Day, bailing out a guy who was a good coach in Kirby Smart. Kirby Smart is a damn good coach. They've got a damn good team. Ohio State had just as good of athletes, and they had them matched out. Now, I will say one play did change the dynamics of it, and a lot of people are kind of like, "Oh, it was roughing, it was targeting, and blah blah blah." It's Marvin Harrison Jr. got his ass lit up. I blame the quarterback. I blame C.J. Stroud for throwing the fucking pass. I don't get mad at Lions for eating people when they fall in the cages. I don't get mad at defenders cleaning up wide receivers coming across the middle of the field when a quarterback throws them into the defender. I personally think if they wanted to change and make the game safer, this is what they would do. They would start throwing flags on quarterbacks for leading defenseless receivers. I guarantee you the game would become a lot safer once they know you can't stop. But the quarterbacks are trying to consistently fit balls into windows that they weren't designed to do. But that's just what it was. And when you thought it couldn't get any crazier or any wackier with college football, you see Tulane beats USC. With 7 seconds left in the game, they scored a touchdown. I don't have that one up there, but that was crazy. Utah's Penn State running the wing tee against Utah, just all kinds of great stuff. But to finish college football, the craziest thing in all of this is LSU. LSU beat the fuck out of Purdue, who should not have played this game. Purdue didn't have a head coach, nor did they have any players. When they released the depth charts are always too deep. Always too deep. They released Purdue's depth chart, and it was like one deep in very critical positions. Like, I'm sorry. For the safety of your players, you should not do this. And I think LSU did something. Brian Kelly is a master politician. One of my favorite TV heroes is Don Draper from a show called Mad Men. One of his dopest quotes early in the series was, if you don't like the conversation, if you don't like what people are saying, then change the conversation. Well, and what leaked a few days ago, and it was ironic because I stayed at the team hotel, and I'm not even gonna lie to you, I was looking for Destiny. Destiny, fine little mulatto girl. A rumor hit that kind of shaking the core, and people are having fun, kind of like what they had with Ndakwe or whatever the Celtics coach was. Oh, yeah. What I feel bad for is that this girl might not have done it, but now she's labeled a whore. Like the black chick. Now, I personally believe that he was knocking the black chick down. The Celtics coach. Yeah. No way that woman like loved that man's dirty draws. Like, she was just like, when she like, you could see her, and then just her heart. She covered her heart on one post when she was looking at him. Like, it was just, and she was bad too. And I don't even really like light skin chicks. I like them burnt. But whatever. The point is that LSU had a scandal. So what did Brian Kelly have to do? He had to beat the fuck out of Purdue to get people to not think about it. But here's the gist of the scandal. Apparently, there was a sex party in Atlanta during the SEC championship stay, and the participants got caught. 5 that are identified: Kayshon Boutte, who was a wide receiver, probably going to be a top pick for LSU, who all of a sudden said he doesn't want to be on the team. Brian Kelly did not help by not explaining why he decided to leave abruptly after saying he was returning. And he did not play in this game. Destiny Wilson, who is the on-campus recruiting coordinator; Cortez Hankton, who's the wide receivers coach; J.R. Belton, director of recruiting; Corey Phillips, associate director of player personnel, who Phillips is now with Colorado. And I hope you got my MFTK hat, by the way. Boutte was dismissed. Wilson, the lone female of the affair, resigned on December 8th. She has a history of this sort of behavior, and we failed to catch in due diligence. Hankton, the highest paid wide receiver coach in the country, will be terminated effective after the bowl game. He's not. The fates of Belton, the reputed instigator, and Phillips are not known yet, but both are almost certainly gone. Like, Phillips is already gone. But like, this is what was sent out on message boards. It's starting to gain traction. Destiny has made her social media is private now. And I wasn't sure about what happened. But there's a universal sign of men and women who get caught cheating. Just look at their social media. One thing you'll never see from me. I ask people not to do it. I will not do it. The day you see me write a novel on my social media means that means I'm done for. This is my Hail Mary. Something happened for me to write 1,000 characters about declaring my love. All of a sudden, when you see the dual pictures on Facebook together, somebody cheated. This is me letting the world know that this is my woman, or the woman letting the world know this is my man. I am doing this to protect my relationship. When you see their names together on Twitter, I remember MySpace. I used to tell people all the time, why you ain't got no pictures of me in your MySpace? Because it's called MySpace. Like, it's mine. Nobody comes to this page for you. Like, what's the tip take? Ain't nobody come here to see you, Otis. But when I see people always talking about their man, women, that woman is either scorned or cheating or doing something. These are people think that these things are innocent. And I no, that's not the case. That's no, man. Listen, man, lie to your pastor. You ain't gotta lie to me. You know exactly what's happening. You're making up for some shit. Somebody got caught. So what do you mean by this, James? Let me see if I can find this man's name. It's Cortez Hangston, right?
What did they mean by she's been? They said they've seen this behavior in her before.
Apparently, she likes sex. And before we get on LSU and everybody gets on their hot, let me tell you what. In general, people, okay. So I've said this before, and I've kind of got in trouble for it. And I don't want to get in trouble for it, but it's just the reality, bro. Like, if they're in the military, they fucking. I'm sorry. If they're in the military, they fucking. If they are traveling the country with their female personal assistant, and the female personal assistant is attractive, they probably are, man. Sorry. You got to hear that from me. Your husband's a college football coach? I'm just saying. Especially if they're in recruiting. Guys, all these people vibe and go off of sexual energy, man. Like, they're not hiring these fine women to be around. Like, because here's the crazy part. They don't want the high school recruits. They want the sure things. I hate that you have to hear this from me. But what I'm going to tell you is that you just got to be secure in your person. And they're not all. It's a generalization. I'm here to tell you that. But the reality is that's why you got to compete. Vagina is superfluous for them. Guys, if you're dating a chick, you got to be trying to wear her ass out if she's in that motherfucker. Because you know why? It is dick everywhere. And if she's cute, they're all trying to holler at her. Matter of fact, she ain't got to be cute. She's available. You want to know how ugly women always get pregnant? They have available vagina. And sometimes that's the best vagina that's there, available. You are with these people 20 out, like, especially right now with the bowl game. My family got a chance to see it firsthand because we stayed at LSU's team hotel. You're at the hotel the entire time. Literally the entire time. You're just around the same people. So you go have a couple drinks. Next thing you know, a titty's in your mouth. Things happen. Do you like the lifestyle? That's what you have to ask yourself. And can you handle it? And it's not for everybody. I get it. I'm not telling you to be okay with it. That's not your lifestyle. And that's why you're in the situation. That's why most Americans only make under $50,000 a year. You were talking about people in a completely different tax bracket that are making a ton of money. And she's also young. So I will say this. That's probably one of the only deal breakers I ever have. Like, I don't care about body counts, right? Body counts. I'd be hypocritical to care about that. But a train dog?
Yeah.
A train? Come on, man. Like, ladies. This is a safe space. Ladies in the comments, please explain to me how sexually liberating a train is. To be spit roasted? I get what it's like for us. I can't say that I haven't been around something like that. But then I thought about it. I think Pimp C is the one who made me realize that that's wild.
Yeah, no.
But like, you are literally, and I know women who have had this done to them, and I know guys have found them. I don't think the women told them this story, but that's probably the only thing. But I don't want to come. See, the problem is this: is that a lot of us aren't from the same cities. No man wants to go visit your hometown and everybody knows that you are the whore. Like, damn, bro, you with Keisha? Man, boy, Keisha. It's a I think it was House Party 3, I think, when Bernie Mac was there. But I knew this from some boy, you was a lucky man. You was a lucky man. Your wife could suck the skin off of it. And he was like, man, that's my bitch. Why you talking about her? He's like, I know what we used to call a jawbone. No, I don't care how we get in a society. No man wants that shit.
And women don't have to worry about it either. It's not how many men are going to have change run on them.
Right.
Well,
let me read. Well, you could call it that. I actually have some female friends who have said that before. They're going to run a train on some guys. But they said it because that's what guys say. But they were like, man, we're going to all fuck this dude. We're going to have a menage. We're going to have this.
We'll clap for that, man.
But you know what? You know why it's not? Because like you just said, it's not gonna happen. Most men don't have sex, let alone most men have 2 to 3 partners in a lifetime. It is so difficult for a man to have sex. It's easy for a woman to have sex. Let y'all tell it. Everybody in your goddamn inboxes, somebody wants to fuck you for the rest of your life. The problem is you don't need to let them all do it at the same time. Have some tact. Shit. I'm sorry, Destiny. You're like Destiny. Like, you're a cute girl. Like, the last thing somebody wants to do is.
What a great job. Wow.
I don't know. I don't know if she's fired or resigned or not. But like, I'm just like, yo, like, now, even if it's not, and the sad part is, even if it's not true, how do you recover from that?
Right.
Because I'm going to tell you how me, as a dad, hopefully have 2 prospects coming up. Destiny would be a lot older at that point if she's at LSU. Wouldn't mind my son going to LSU. He's an Odell Beckham fan. Justin Jefferson. We come over there like, hey, man, well, you know, what's up, Destiny? How bad y'all want to come? Y'all talk about NIL deals. Well, y'all forget that the oldest profession is prostitution. That is still getting kids recruited to this day. Like, it's the hoes that's getting kids to these campuses, man. Somebody gonna fall in love with. I remember it wasn't my Georgia Tech visit; it was my Morehouse visit. I went to this latex party. It was Louisiana, Texas, up in Atlanta, and that's what they call it. But it was a condo, a latex condo. I remember it, and I fell in love. I was going to Morehouse to go meet this girl from Spelman. That bit was so bad. But ended up working out. Thank God. I mean, listen, man. Pussy is powerful. This is why when I end this show, you're going to understand why I'm trying to free some of y'all from the powers and the grips of pussy so that you can understand this. But Destiny's pussy probably needs to sit down for a little bit. She's going to be put in timeout. Don't let everybody fuck you. But speaking of not giving a fuck, the NFL in a whole fail swoop, media, franchises, organizations, I need everybody to listen to me. Listen up. They don't give a fuck about you. You're a commodity. Troy Vincent actually wrote something not too long ago, and I wanted to report on it, but I ended up not. And the NFL owners got mad because he likened the NFL Combine to slavery, to the slave blocks. And everybody hears that and they understand. This is how I know people know how bad American slavery was. It's not slavery in American slavery standpoint. It's slavery in the fact of its indentured servitude. Roman gladiators were slaves. They were indentured servants. They were some of the most well-paid people in Rome. They were some of the most liked people. They were the gladiators. They were the people who were put on billboards. They were the people who were put in front of folks. This is what happens. It's happened in every aspect of our society. It doesn't necessarily have the negative connotations that you think. Is just comparing it. And if you don't understand what the NFL Combine is like, you are literally oiled up in the best shape of your life doing an entire workout in your drawers. And go back and look at what slave auctions look like. That's literally what a slave auction looked like. Like, that's the comparison. But like, so don't lose the forest through the trees. Okay. So when you have things like this, though, it still gives you those comparisons. Nobody gives a fuck. And the first thing is Tua. I've been talking about Tua since the first injury. And everybody was like, no, you're not a doctor. I ain't a doctor, but I've had my bell rung. I've had my eggs scrambled quite a few times. I know what it looks like. I've seen it happen. We knew Tua was injured the first time. Then he plays again on a short week, and the dude's throwing up fucking gang signs. And then everybody's, well, you know, like, and people who are medical experts telling you the only time you throw up them gang signs involuntarily is when you're on your second concussion. And then I'm not even gonna lie to you. He sits out a couple of weeks, comes back, plays incredibly. Like I said, I think he was still concussed. For him to get hit again, and for this state, Barry Jackson reports. Glazer also reported what several of us who cover the team were told on Background last week. What concerned McDaniel during Monday's meeting with Tua is when Mike asked him while watching film why he was making some of the decisions and plays. He couldn't remember. Even in boxing, the corner will throw in a white flag when the boxer is not being able to protect himself. The competitor in Tua needs to be protected by those who are in charge of him. And that's the head coach. And that's why a lot of us were, it was not, I mean, it had nothing to do with me thinking if I thought Tua was a good quarterback or not. Had everything to do with me caring about Tua when he gets to my age. And as a guy who is slowly, with older age, but I'm not that old, starting to feel some of the effects of running full speed into other human beings for a living. I'd never had things like this happen to me before. And it's concerning because you have to, the most valuable asset and resource that you have as an athlete is yourself. So if you don't take care of your star player, you can't expect other people to take care of your star player, because guess what's going to happen if Tua can't go out there and function next year? Nobody's going to give a fuck. He will be another player that we will talk about. And then when he's 40 years old, he will be sitting there like Earl Campbell. Like Earl Campbell could barely fucking walk. Now, luckily, Texas did some things for him, but nobody was caring about Earl Campbell and his quality of life as he was going through a lot of this shit. Nobody cares about a lot of these guys' quality of life. That's why people speak out on the things that they speak out about. But the biggest thing with all of this, that was the most pressing news, is this young man, the second-year player out of Pittsburgh, Damar Hamlin. Before I go into it, I like Damar Hamlin. Can you post, it's the Front Office Sports one, where we show his toy drive. And I'm going to talk about the positive things that came from this. This young man's been doing the toy drive since he was in college. His first GoFundMe tried to raise $2,500. I think it's got $4.2 million in it now since his injury. So I love the fact that everybody's coming in. But this is, I'm as a man who loves to put on for the city, for his cities, I love every aspect of this. I haven't heard this, so push play mode.
What's up? It's Lamar Hamlin, back at the hometown, back at the crib, third annual toy drive, man. We're doing it for the kids, having a good time, man. So let's get back to it.
Love it, man. Such a positive young man. You know, if you're not aware, Hamlin was making a tackle in the game against Pittsburgh Steelers, and probably didn't make it with the best technique. Went with his chest, took a helmet to the chest, got up, and then immediately collapsed. Had to be revived on the football field. Right now he's on the ventilator. They say he's progressing. Life's probably going to completely change. Once they open your lungs up, put you on that ventilator, a lot can go down. But you know, you see this a lot in baseball, lacrosse. But you see it like when somebody takes a shot directly to the chest with like a ball. And what happens is if it strikes at the right time or your heartbeat, it can throw off your heart rhythm, and basically you have a heart attack. And then they have to, like, you know, your body will eventually catch back up if they're giving you CPR and treatment. But I think what made his even more crazy is the way he fell. A lung collapsed as well. So, and what's unfortunate about this situation is before we even got, and the same thing happened to a guy my age, Uche Nwaneri, passed 38 years old, unknown things. Is immediately everybody goes to the jab. What do I mean by the jab? Everybody's trying to, like Dr. Boyce Watkins and a lot of you fucks. And that's the only thing I should call you is a fuck. Is anybody wondering why a 24-year-old would be having a heart attack? Like, you're immediately going to the vaccine, and I don't really give a fuck how you feel about the vaccine or not. This shit, people been dying in fucking football since well before we even knew what the fuck COVID-19 was. I remember the summer of going into my senior year. So the summer of 2001, we had like 15 people die immediately of heart attacks. Now they realized that a lot of these guys were taking phenamine, a weight loss drug, and then heat strokes and things like that. But nobody questioned those things then. Like, the kid is suffering, his family's suffering, and immediately everybody wants to go into conspiracy theories. I don't even know what that says.
Praise.
Oh, as opposed to just, if that's what you do, as opposed to just praying for the guy and his family. I was concerned because I'm looking at this clip, and the first thing I said was, just go to commercial. Just go to commercial, man. Stop. Now, his mom was there, and luckily his mom was able to get an ambulance. But only thing I think, it reminded me of when my teammate Leon Washington dislocated his elbow against North Carolina our first game. And my mom got to like Leon because Leon came to the house for Thanksgiving our freshman year and a lot of stuff. I hung out with Leon a lot. And all my mom could think about was how his mom felt, because how she felt watching it over and over and over again, and they kept talking about it, and you're not there. It's like it would have been a great time to just go and talk about other stuff. But they kept showing it, and then what made it worse is that you could see the team. This is why I said the NFL doesn't give a fuck. They were going to make those guys play that game. You don't know what the fuck just happened to this guy. You saw a guy collapsed on the field for over 10 minutes. And they were going to try to make you play a football game. And it was the coaches and the players refused to play. The NFL didn't do the right thing because it was the right thing to do. They did the right thing because they had no choice. And I think that's why I tell athletes, Don't be overly concerned about what fans have to say, because you're going to find yourself becoming a fan quicker than you wanted to be a fan. Fans are great, but fan is also short for fanatic. You are a commodity. You are a resource. The best thing to do, it's as the quote Killer Mike, what he says is like what he talked about. If you were a communist, you'd be a great communist. If you're a socialist, you'd be a great socialist. You happen to live in a capitalistic society, so you have to be a great capitalist. It's either you're going to use the system or you're going to be used by the system. It's a situation where it's great. I told somebody the other day, the hits that are big, and I keep people saying, "Oh, it's just a routine hit. It was a soft hit that couldn't have been with." I said, "Bullshit." The big hits never hurt. That's pads. It's the hits that you don't hear. Those are the ones that we remember. I remember getting rocked at Georgia Tech. The guy caught me right on the side of my pads where there's no protection. Caught all body shot. That's why when you look at boxing and you see somebody get a nice little side, they hit them in the solar plexus, paralyzes the whole lower half of you. There's nothing you can do about it. There's no training that you could do to make that somebody who gets the right shot on you perfect. It just happens. That's why it's rare. But me without football, I'd probably be dead by now. Or I'd be in jail. Probably not dead. I'd be in jail. I'd have been a phenomenal. I would have. You guys have no idea the amount of. I would have tried to do every rap song that you hear about. I would have tried. I'd have tried to move an incredible amount of weight. Football kept me out of that. I have some friends who didn't. Gave me discipline. It actually made me go to school. It's a hell of a motivator. But it's a very violent sport. I was just talking to my son about the big hits aren't what you got to worry about. It's the small ones. And then I thought about being a father. And I thought about as a player, like, damn. We had a guy die. I wasn't there. But Twin passed when I played, like right before I came to Florida State, DeVar Darling. And I remember my teammates who were there that day, describing what it was like to watch their teammate die while they were doing routine exercises. And then what it was like in the confrontation that happened when Bobby was like, well, we're going to go back tomorrow and work out. And the team said, the fuck we are. We just saw somebody die. We ain't doing that shit. And Bobby even had to take a step back and be like, you know what? These are young men. They just watched somebody die. And, obviously he's not dying, but I hope he doesn't. I hope he presses through. But just even in all of the stuff, the good that this young man does, there's people who are talking about, why was his GoFundMe only $2,500? Why was his GoFundMe address here? Now it's $3.2 million. Where's the money going? Why doesn't he use his own money? I hate that shit. That shit happens to me all the time with my nonprofit because people think I'm a millionaire and I'm not. I can promise you that. But I put up a lot of my own money for everything that I do in the community. But we can do more if everybody gets behind it. And the last thing that people who are trying to do good need is you people who ain't doing shit to try to come in and pick it apart.
Right.
But I'm going to defend a guy who doesn't seem defendable right now.
Uh-oh.
But then I'm also going to say this is why he gets what he gets. I made a statement, 54% of the population reads below a 6th grade level. And people's perception and the context they mold you in is based upon their understanding to comprehend things. Skip Bayless had a series of tweets. And at first glance, only one of them posted. I by no means am a Skip Bayless fan. Let the record show. Skip Bayless is a habitual line stepper. Skip Bayless put this tweet out here. And this was the day of nothing is more important than that young man's health. That was the point of my last tweet. I'm sorry. Oh, no, that's not. That was his retort to it. No doubt the NFL is considering postponing the rest of this game. But how? This late in the season, a game of this magnitude is crucial to the regular season outcome, which suddenly seems so irrelevant. So that's what Skip posted. Now, in a vacuum, that is a terrible, terrible post. But when you go scroll up, it was a series of tweets that he put out. Not exactly sure what happened to Damar Hamlin. Players on both teams are shaken. Ambulance out on the field. CPR administered. Can't remember play being stopped for this length of time. Just said a prayer for him and his family. Excuse me. I've seen so many horrific injuries suffered on football fields, yet never have I seen any reaction like this. In every other situation I witnessed or covered, the game always went on fairly quickly. The attitude was, hey, that's football. For these players, this was different. And he was live tweeting what happened, and he was telling the truth. The NFL don't give a fuck about that. Now, I have no problem with what Skip said. Anybody with common sense and intelligence and intellect would have no problem with what Skip said. But where we have the problem, where I have a problem, and it's not just in that instance, because I would chalk that up as that's his job. It's reading the room. Consistently not reading the room is what's getting Skip in a situation where I believe Shannon Sharpe should just slap the fuck out of him. It was probably unnecessary to be able to state what he said. I am in agreement with that. Didn't have to be said. It was already known. But he said it anyway, and it wasn't, I could tell by reading the other context that it wasn't intended. But here's my thing. If I have a friend that's close to me and Denny had some arguments. Me and JJ had some arguments when we had our show. It was great radio. I never once tried to get under JJ's skin on a personal level. Like, if I knew it was something to like his core, your core beliefs, I'm not going to fuck with you on it. But like, let's play with Shannon. But he keeps doing this to Shannon. And I think it's time for Shannon to go ahead and just, part ways, if I'm being honest. But Shannon did not, to put context in it, Shannon did not show up to Undisputed yesterday. And this was Shannon's opportunity to be able to speak. And this is what happens when people think they made you. Okay.
Morning.
There's been a lot of speculation of why I wasn't on air yesterday, and I won't get into speculation or conjecture, innuendo, but I will say this. In watching that game on Monday night, what happened to Damar Hamlin struck me a little different. As a brotherhood in the NFL, when injuries happen, when we know injuries are a part of the game, I've seen guys suffer ACLs and Achilles tear, but I've never seen anybody have to be revived and fight for their life on the field. So it struck me a little differently because I remember seeing my brother paralyzed on the field temporarily, and he was able to regain focus. Skip tweeted something, and although I disagree with the tweet, and hopefully Skip would take it down, but I didn't want it.
Well, time out. I'm not going to take it down because I stand by what I tweeted.
Skip, let me finish.
All right. Okay.
Go ahead.
No, you go.
Go ahead. Let's go, Jen.
Okay.
I mean, I cannot even get through a monologue without you interrupting me.
Well,
you could have came back, Skip.
Well, I thought
Skip, just let.
I didn't know you were going to bring up.
No, I was just going to say, Skip. I didn't want to yesterday to get into a situation where Damar Hamlin was the issue. We should have been talking about him and not get into your tweet. That's what I was going to do. But you can't even let me finish my opening monologue without you interrupting.
Okay. I was under the impression you weren't going to bring this up because nobody here had a problem with that tweet.
No. Clearly, the bosses wanted you to offer explanations. So clearly,
No,
somebody
they
had a
did
problem.
not have, nobody.
Let's go, Jen.
It's like, hold on. It's like you refuse to even be checked. Like I would just let him. I would have let Shannon talk and be like, you know what? I meant what I said. I'm not going to take it down, but you know, I respect what you say. You've disrespected this man's playing career and the things that he holds true. You've disrespected this man telling you because he talked about his brother being paralyzed on the field temporarily. You talked about a guy who's gone out there and put his body on the line, and as a player, they're telling you why it feels different to them. And you know, that's why I always tell people, man, business is business, man. Treat it as such. You can't go out here and always believe just I like to have personal and business relationships. But there's some things that I've learned, even in this short time with media, is that when the chips fall, people are going to do what's best for them. And they're not going to always do what's best for you and your family. So Shannon got to start looking out what's best for him and his sanity. Because Skip clearly, I'm going to hear, I know I thought you were different is going to come in. And nothing, I don't know how much time I got. How much time I'm over?
We're at 112.
Okay, like I want to wrap this up, but like because it's not just Skip that's a piece of shit. Bart Scott is too, but I'm not even going to get into fuck Bart Scott. He's just again shock jock guy right now. But when somebody tells you, "I thought you were different," when you're having a fundamental difference, it's basically just stating that I brought you on, I brought you here because I thought there was going to be a level of control. And I think this relationship, because he's got Club Shay Shay, his YouTube channel, he's got the money. He doesn't really need this. He leaves Fox, he leaves Undisputed, he gets a job back on NFL Network or anywhere else he wants. He probably gets his own show if we're being honest, because he's gotten really a lot better. But I do know this. You can't keep challenging him as a man and then try to talk your way out of it. Because sometimes you can't talk your way out of the ass whooping. Especially when you're talking to dudes who are wired to overreact. But shit. On that note, I always ended on a positive note. So we're going back to, remember I told you that pussy controls the world. I don't want you guys to enter into 2023 without being an alpha male. And this is an alpha male moment. This is what all alpha males need to know how to do, need to know how to check out. And I'm going to give you the advice of one of my favorite comedians, TK Kirkland. I think I'm going to take this into advice. Right now, my money's a little low from Christmas and New Year's, but hopefully this new deal. And this month of January, even without the new deal, this month of January will be really, really good with some stuff. And I think if you take this advice, I'm going to say, don't get hung up in the number. Okay. Don't get caught up in the number. Make the number work for you. The point is, focus on the task at hand, and then it will attract. Money attracts money. Money attracts pussy too. So let's see what Uncle T to the motherfucking K has to say. You gotta.
Love is for men who have accomplished something. If you ain't got 25,000 in your account right now, you don't even deserve to have sex.
Wow.
If you had 25, you don't deserve to walk up to a woman and destroy her life. You know, use that
Hold on,
ambition.
so you gotta have 25,000 just to have sex.
25,000. Yeah, I believe you have to have 25. Now, here's the thing.
Say that one more time, 'cause I've heard you say that before, and I don't know.
Right,
I don't think I disagree when you say sex
right.
is for people with.
Imagine if you work hard all week,
Okay.
and Friday night, you know, you like, I met Betty or Karen. Man, I think I'll partake in some sex.
So what he's saying is like accomplish something, work hard, focus on your goals, do these things. That's attractive. It's like that's what being an alpha male is. Get you a good workout in, get you some things about you. Now, ladies, you know, love when stuff like this gets happened. Now, he also says, you know what? Here's the other reason. When you likely have money in your pocket, right? You know what you're less likely to go do? Be with people who don't. He said, I don't trust a woman who doesn't have $25,000 in the bank account. It's also what TK Kirkland has said. If you know you have money, you're not going to just go frivolously waste it on somebody who doesn't have anything of their own either. Typically. Focus on yourself. Make sure your star player is good and make sure you're in control of your own destiny. Because at the end of the day, it's not just the NFL. Nobody really gives a fuck. Only person I've ever seen do it is dead. But he said, remember, Tupac cares if don't nobody else care. But Tupac not around no more. So, I mean, I do stuff not because I care. I just don't want you fucking up my children. That's the reason. That's the only reason I do things. So, on that note, man, I appreciate you guys checking it out. Hopefully, we'll have some more content, more ideas coming out. Won't be taking as long of a break anymore. Well, yeah, I don't see it's taking as long a break anymore. Like, because I think we did 2 shows last week.
Yeah.
So we'll have 2 shows this week. We'll be back on the 3-day show plan. February will be on 4 days a week. Big Games BS. Stay tuned for Den Media, for Sports Den, and some other stuff coming up to you later on. Please go check out the YouTube channel. I want to get my personal YouTube over 1,000. I would love to get this channel over 2,000. Hopefully clean up the channel, give you some more unique content to be able to check out. Appreciate the views, appreciate the shares. I appreciate you guys chopping it up with me. We'll see you next time.